you know what a rodeo queen is? How many of you think that she's just a pretty girl that sits on a horse and waves and has really big hair? I thought so. That's actually not her entire job. She has a lot more activities that she's involved in and a lot of roles that she actually plays. I've been competing in rodeo queen pageants since I was 7, and I've had 10 queen titles. So I'm actually going to talk to you today about who Miss Rodeo Idaho is and what her job is. We're going to talk about getting there as the lady in waiting, the official job as Miss Rodeo Idaho, and then your completion of your reign as Miss Rodeo Idaho. So being the lady in waiting is pretty much your time to prepare for your upcoming year. You're crowned in July, so you have 6 months to prepare, and that's having pictures taken, developing your business cards, and kind of meeting with the board and developing your plan of what you're going to want to do and what you expect of your year. In that, having your pictures taken and designing your promotion program, this is a poster that was used and it was put up everywhere that I went to say, hey, Miss Rodeo Idaho is available. Do you want her in a ribbon cutting? Do you want her in a commercial, a picture? What do you want her to do for you? It was also a great deal to get my sponsors and show them what I could do for them. Then you're also going to be going to Miss Rodeo America to watch the pageant and watch the Miss Rodeo Idaho that crowned you compete. It's about 10 days that you're there, and you learn what you're going to do, get an idea of what you're going to be doing when you're competing. You also make some acquaintances of getting invited to appearances in other states, and you're also inviting those girls to come help you represent rodeo in your state. Then you go on to be Miss Rodeo Idaho, and it's quite the busy year. This summer I was home a total of 6 days, and 3 of those days I actually stayed at my house. You're going to be working at rodeos, carrying flags, doing the grand entry, which is where you run around the arena and you wave. You also are going to do promotions, whether it's selling raffle tickets for a Dodge truck or maybe selling pink bandanas for the Tough Enough to Wear Pink program. And according to IgniteGuides.com, the career of a rodeo queen is often rooted in family legacy, the goal promoting a true Western spirit and blazoned with community and family ideas. Your number one job is to promote the sport of rodeo and the PRCA. You're going to talk about riding clubs, the history and the Western industry, what it has to offer. And a major part is dealing with animal welfare and animal rights. Being a rodeo queen, you're going to go for animal welfare. And you're going to have a lot of questions on, is rodeo harsh for animals? Is it cruel? Do you really beat those cows before you go and slaughter them? Those are questions you're going to have to deal with. And that's something that, as a rodeo queen, you're really trained and prepared to handle those types of situations. You also are going to be out in the public, dealing with public events for sponsors, or dealing with the Nampa Chamber of Commerce, or our host rodeo is the Snake River Stampede, so I did a lot of activities for them. And this summer, I actually put on a stick horse rodeo during the Snake River Days with the Nampa Chamber of Commerce, and these are some medals that my nephews actually won there, and we offered huge prizes. It was just a family day. They had a lot of other activities like downtown chili nights that were going on, so we kind of joined in there and represented the Snake River Stampede. And in that, in being in the community, you're going to really promote your platform. And my platform was Kids First, so obviously my stick horse rodeo really tied into that, as well as I read at schools. I talked to high school groups, the Leos that are high schoolers from for the Lions Club. I talked to them on public speaking, getting over that fear, reaching for your goals. And then the final stage is actually competing at Miss Rodeo America, and that's kind of completing your year. And according to the official rulebook for Miss Rodeo America symbolizes the youth of our nation who wishes to further promote professional rodeo, and in so doing, promote the great Western way of life. She is the ideal Western type American girl, and she is the person who will represent professional rodeo as she travels the length and breadth of our country. In preparing for Miss Rodeo America, you're going to have to study. I have about a 3-inch encyclopedia that is just on horse science, and I read it about 18 times last year from front to cover. There's a monthly magazine that's put out that's the PSN, and it talks about all the current events and the top cowboys, what's going on in rodeo, that you have to know. You read that front to cover several times. There's current events, so watching the news, reading the newspaper is a must every day. There's also personality questions and interviews. I did a lot of mock interviews. The mayor of Caldwell actually is one of the people that I had the privilege of having him interview me on current events. You also are going to work on your speaking. I took voice lessons because I had a very high-pitched voice and I talked really, really fast. So I took voice lessons to lower my voice and slow my speaking down. And I also, of course, practice my speech. You have to give a 2-minute speech on the state of Idaho. And getting all about Idaho in 2 minutes is really quite the ordeal to try to stay under that. It's just like in here, if you go over that time, you're going to be docked, so you have to stay within that 2 minutes and also make it interesting. Your wardrobe is a huge thing. I worked on this even before I was Lady in Waiting. You always have that if. What if you go to Miss Rodeo America? You're there for 8 days competing, and I had 26 outfits that I had to plan. And you can't just go into a store and buy some formal dress. You have to design this and have it made. They're made out of leather or other material, and just like in this picture, it's a leather dress, and there's actually, the butterflies on here are hand sewn, and that took me about a day. And then the rhinestones took me 3 days. One point I was sitting there for 6 hours gluing on rhinestones, and before I went to Miss Rodeo America, I actually glued on tons more. So it's quite the deal. You need to figure out what's in, what's out. I actually represent some things today. These bracelets were a huge thing. They're popular. Wearing Montana Silversmith, which is a huge sponsor for rodeo, is a major thing. So you really need to know what's in, what's out. How many pant outfits are you going to have to wear? Well, your pants have to match your boots. Your belt has to match your pants. Your shirt are you going to wear this color or that color? How well does it fit? It's a huge process and very time consuming. So also, what I want to leave you with though is that, well, being Miss Rodeo Idaho, it says royalty, it really means that it's to serve. And so we've talked about being the lady in waiting, getting there, actually being Miss Rodeo Idaho, and then completing your reign as Miss Rodeo Idaho. And in that, I talked about representing sponsors, and this is a guitar that I was given. I don't know how to play it, but it's a cool gift that I got for the job I did.